Welcome to the Whitelines Real Time Reviews. Today it is the turn of the Ride Shadowban 157 to be tested by the clipboard of power. The Ride Shadowban, brand new in Ride stable this year, comes out of the resort sport category of boards that they're making. Basically an all-mountain board for the intermediate expert level rider. Its dance partner today is Stef Zeestraten. Let's see how they get on.
The Ride Shadowban 157. First run, let's take it for a roll. Looks pretty fun. Wee bit of rocker somewhere outside the bindings. Apparently some camber in between the bindings, not that I can see it looking down the edge, but apparently it's there, so we'll see what happens. Has a bit of a directional sort of shape to it. Set back a tiny bit, I believe, or at least that's how I've set it up. So let's see what this thing does. Have a bit of fun. Apparently the weapon for everything. Let's go. Yo! Alright, flexing. Yeah, pretty nice fluid flex. Hold, got a bit of stiffness to it, it's kind of nice. Not too stiff, but definitely not a soft board. Whew. A little bit wider, but for a US size tan boot, pretty good width. Alright, tap down here and then run across. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Ha! That way. All right, and across. Let's see if Willows has got anything to offer on the old south side of the mountain. Beauty today. Get this rolling. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, they go. Oh, holds quite well. Whoa, a wee bit twitchy, but very solid. Kind of. Ooh. All right. Woo. Bit whippy, like definitely wants to get on edge, which is surprising with the old rocker. Woo! Where am I going? No idea. Let's run this wave. Oh, this is like torn, but kind of still frozen. Ah! Oh, it ripped. Quite a weapon considering it has a bit of rocker. First run on the Ride Shadowban 157. Pretty fun. We just took it to the south side of the Mount Cardrona and just having a wee bit of fun on it, trying to get the turns and the feels. It's got like a rigid but fluid flex. It sort of sits right in between somewhere. It's quite nice and fluid. It's got good pop. It holds amazingly well, considering I didn't think there was much camber in between the feet, and there is definitely rocker on the tail and nose, so hold was surprisingly really good. I was kind of expecting it not to, so I take that back. Other than that, it's got good pop, especially for a rocker board. It's got a bit of ping, it's got liveliness to it, a little bit heavier than I kind of was expecting, but all that transfer into the edges is quite like instant, which is quite fun. So keen to see how this holds up in the rest of the park and take it maybe for a jib lap, see what happens. Fun, let's go. Ride Shadowban 157. Let's see how this thing goes through the park. Woo! Game on. All right, that's better. Back on the road again. Coming in hot. Whoa! Oh, hectic landing. Whee! Oh, look at this landing! Ah! 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 That was hectic. That was mad hectic. Shadowban. Let's do a jib lap, see if we can find anything in here. Let's roll. Heel. Woo-wee. Ah! Whoop. Ooh, it's bumpy. Ooh. Ooh, in the bumps. Oh, it holds all right. It's like mad slush.
So ride Shadowban 157. Rides say that it's one board for everything, intermediate expert level rider, €480. So in the, I'd say the upper medium end of the price bracket. What did you make of it? Good all-rounder?
I had a lot of fun on it, on everything I touched. We had a pretty slushy, you know, stacked powder, like park day today. So definitely wanted to test it out, play around, and it kind of went everywhere with grace and style, surprisingly.
Okay, I'm going to rewind back to when we pulled this out of the plastic. Wir schnipp, what nip, Freddy is a devil. And your words exactly were, I thought I would hate it.
I did pull this out of the wrapper and I looked down the camber line and I was like, well, it says it's got camber between the feet. I don't see too much of it, to be honest, but apparently it is there. To me, it felt a little bit flat through the feet, but at the same time, it never hindered me. And
context here, you're a massive fan of camber. You love that responsiveness. So rocker, as soon as the board starts bending up, like that's a warning sign for you, isn't it? You're losing that responsiveness.
Yeah, I do like my responsiveness, but at the same time, on a slushy day like today, or if you like a bit of rocker, you know, generally speaking, then this thing went everywhere with a lot of style and grace. It ploughed gracefully through chutter and whatever, porridge or whatever it was today at the bottom of the hill, which was pretty entertaining. But at the same time, I think this would hold up pretty well on a pow day, you know. I can't really complain about that.
I was fascinated. You made a comment about this feeling almost familiar.
Yeah, I definitely felt that this had the intricacies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right. Of a, you know, the family which is Ride and K2 have that similar sort of feeling of the different details in the board, and I can actually surprisingly feel that. I could feel the sort of torsional flex patterns that almost they've resounded, you know, a K2 a little bit.
Well, I'm fascinated. K2 have they call it the dark web. For Ride, they call it the Carbon Array 3 TM, and it's the same thing. It's that carbon lattice underneath the binding inserts that gives you the torsional flex, and wherever you're going to put pressure on your foot, supposedly it then adds it straight to the edge.
Yeah, and it adds it and rebounds really smooth, which is amazing.
Okay, let's take it to the extreme ends of the spectrum, because a lot of boards can sit in the middle and just cruise around groomers and a bit of variable snow, but kickers, where you're moving really quickly and you've got to be on the edge, how did it run?
I wasn't expecting it to do too well, but at the same time it handled pretty damn well. It was smooth, silky. It's still got enough stiffness in this board to handle high speed and bumps and chatter. So in that respect, I've got no faults on it.
Okay, rails.
Rails, fine. It's got a...
Because I don't know how
I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it to be a rail board, but it got on rails and had a great time. And you know, that little bit of, I don't know if it's the rocker or a little bit of flex through the nose and tail that actually let it do its thing on rails. It just handled pretty well, and maybe the all-round thing, the all-round thing is the right type of word for it.
Okay, so who's it for then?
I think it's someone, if you like a little bit of rocker on your board, but you want to hit everything and you need a bit of a quiver killer, then potentially this is you, because it kind of does all things well.
Hold on a second. I've just
You're going to answer your mother's phone call?
No, this is Travis Rice. I'm expecting my... Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Tell your mother she can wait.
Travis? No, I can't make natural selection this year. No, not even if you beg.
It's embarrassing.
Thanks for having me.
Embarrassing. Yeah. Very embarrassing.
So you reckon if you like a bit of rocker, is there a weakness in it?
No, I don't think there's a weakness there. There's an all-round high-spec board, in my opinion. It feels like all the details there, and it does what it says it does, and it does it well. Like, it does it.
I've heard you say it before, though, with rocker boards, you're always a bit worried if it gets really icy and chundery, that they can struggle a little bit.
I think it'll hold in the chunder as long as you're in that middle of the board and you're centered, but as soon as you start getting fore and aft on icy, chundery days, then you might struggle a little bit, but then on the other spectrum, you're going to have a wicked time, even in power on this, and deep power.
Yeah,
amazing.
Whatever you lose on the rocker in icier snow, you're going to gain in deeper, softer snow.
And it'll be a great time.
Okay.
So a great time all round, everywhere.
Ride Shadowban 157. You heard it here first.